Okay, guys, welcome. It's not even a podcast. Welcome, team. So today we have got the amazing Katie Maycock. How's it going, Katie?
I'm doing really well. Thank you very much. How are you?
I'm really well. I'm a little bit warm, actually. We just finished the class now, and this jumper's, I'm warm. We haven't got any air conditioning in here, so I am actually dreading the summer when it comes, because it's going to be like a sweat box in here. But
You're going to have to get these massive fans and just hope it doesn't screw up the microphones.
Well, Louise said she's going to fan me down with a big fan from the side. Is that right? No. She's giving the bees. So for anyone that doesn't know who Katie is, tell me a little bit about Katie.
So I am the founder of a business called Get Your Shit Together, literally and figuratively, where I talk about the impact that stress and anxiety has on the body and the mind. So that's essentially what I do for business, but my true passion and what I really love doing is talking about diet, exercise, sleep, and all those kind of things and how it can actually help people. So that's a little bit about what I do and who I am.
Amazing. And you go a lot into the sort of gut health and talking about the gut health. How come that's such a passionate part of your your message?
Yeah. So I mean, emphasizing the business called Get Your Shit Together, literally and figuratively. So a big part of the gut health element was, when I was I am still a nutritionist, but when I first set up my business, over 10 years ago now, my first nutrition business, I kept on getting a lot of clients coming in with really bad gut health issues. And then all of a sudden I started suffering from really bad gut health issues. And I really started looking at that and ended up specializing in a lot more of gut health and how that interacts with the body. And then as that progressed, you can't look at gut health and not look at stress and anxiety. So I ended up being able to bridge those two things, because a lot of people are suffering from a lot of stress, which is causing gut health issues. But then the problem is when you have gut health issues, it can increase the likelihood of anxiety and depression. So that's how I sort of got into it, just from my own experience. And also just honestly, gut health issues have just dramatically increased in the last 15, 20 years.
How would you sort of know if you've got gut health issues? What's the sort of warning signs you should be looking out for?
Well, I think that, the first one is after you eat, are you feeling bloated? Do you need to go to the bathroom really quickly? How frequently are you going to the bathroom? So are you going to the toilet too often? Are you not going enough? It's also, you just feel really lethargic. You can get stomach aches. You can get really bad gas. You get a lot of indigestion. So there's a lot of signs that you've got gut health issues. Most people that have gut health issues struggle to talk about it because they find it really embarrassing. This is why there's a whole bunch of issues when it comes to IBS, allergies, and intolerances. A lot of the times it's because you're not going enough or you're going too often, and it's becoming quite detrimental to your day and how you feel.
Yeah, I love that. So nutrition is like a bit of a minefield at the minute. So there's so much confusing stuff, from slim fast diets to juice plus to all these little bits. And the thing that I absolutely love about you is you keep it so simple. Yeah. So what's your sort of tip where if someone is looking, right, I really need to get my shit together nutrition wise, and what would you say like a good little tip for them is to maybe start looking at, so they don't get confused by the whole
get back to basics. So if you ask anyone, and anyone can ask themselves this, it's like, what do I know about healthy eating? Well, I know that if I ate fruits, vegetables, meats, if you're eating meats, or a good protein source and a good quality fat, look, I know that's healthy, because that is something that has been a messaging that has been put out. It's a very simplistic message, but that's really what it is. It's, where is your vegetables coming from? Where's your protein coming from? And what good quality fat do you have? So that, bring it back to basics. You don't need to do super fancy stuff. Like, you don't need to be doing replacement meals and all those kind of things. One of the biggest reasons people fail at nutrition is not necessarily they don't know how to eat, it's the mindset that's based around it, right? So we've got to make sure that we're getting the mindset right, as well as the diet. So back to basics, just we all know how to eat healthy. How do we incorporate that into every day?
I think that's such a massive area where a lot of people go wrong, is the support. And that's the thing that I absolutely love about you as well, is you've got that support nailed in, whereas anyone can print off a diet sheet from Google, but it's having that sort of constant checking in with people and making sure they're on the right path, because we all have shit days. We all have days. I was just talking to you off camera then about yesterday, not preparing and making sure that I need to be prepared, because I came to work yesterday, I didn't have enough food. And then as soon as I got home, I was like, give me some of that kids' pizza, because they've left a bit on the plate. And I was just like, this, yeah, and it's good knowing that you've got someone to speak
Yeah.
to sort of know that it's okay. Let's just get back on track.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, when we look at diet, everyone's like, I'm going to eat really healthy for the next month or whatever, and they don't put in the fact that you're going to have a shitty day. You're going to have days where you run out of time. You're not going to really fill up to it, and it's not necessarily going, I can't do this and giving up. It's actually going, okay, cool, I had a shit day. That's a day. It doesn't need to turn into 2 days. It doesn't need to turn into 3 days, a week, a month, or a year. It's just, we all have days. Like, I have days, and I should know better, but I have days myself. Like, we're not perfect, and that's something that we've got to understand with our diet. It's understanding what works for you and meeting you where you're at right now, rather than going, you know what, like so and so down the road has like clean eating like 90% of the time. It's like, we've got to meet you where you're at. Don't overcomplicate it.
And do you feel like it's a personal thing? So everyone has their own little battles. Everyone has their own little. So everyone wants to look shredded and have the abs and all this. Like, but how do you work with people individual? Because I that's the biggest area I've struggled with as a personal trainer, and that is one reason why I do not touch nutrition, and that's why I'm so excited to get you on board. I know I can trust you. With my guys, the Hub Tribe, the Love Cycle Tribe, Love Fitness Tribe. What advice would you give to like someone that's like, I really want to get into shape, but I don't know which way to turn. I don't know which way to go, or I want to look like this body, but it's a bit of it's a difficult one where people say, I want to look like this. And like, why am I not looking like this? Like, I want to look shredded and ripped. Like, how do you deal with people when they get to that sort of?
Yeah. So I bring it back to them. And so you've got to understand, why do you want to look like that person? Why do you want to do that? Like, what's the purpose of you wanting to do that? Because if it doesn't make sense and it's not healthy and it's actually more of a negative mindset piece that's going on, actually, let's rectify that. Let's actually rectify what's going on inside the brain before you actually go, I want to look like whoever the most shredded person is in the world right now, whatever. It's understanding, why do you want to do that? How do you want to feel? Like, what does this mean to you, rather than that person obviously is famous, they've got like, they're shredded, they're really successful. It's like, well, let's take that off the board, because who cares about what they're doing? Let's care about what you're doing and how you're feeling and what this means to you and your life and your family's life, right? So that's how I sort of look at it. I kind of dig more deep into the why they're wanting to do that. Because if you understand the why, then you can build a process from that, right? You can understand, okay, cool, you want to look like that. If the why is really solid and it actually comes from like a really emotional thing, maybe actually the reason why you want to be shredded is, I just want to feel confident in myself. Okay, cool. Well, let's actually build your confidence up. Let's actually look at using nutrition to build your confidence up. And that could even be coming into the form of following a diet 90% of the time or 80% of the time and feeling a bit better and getting those results, and just, having the energy, sleeping properly, getting your gut health in order and dealing with all that kind of stuff, rather than being so focused externally on what someone else is looking like and what you want to look like because of someone else. So that's how I handle that.
Absolutely love that. It's all about that bigger why, isn't it?
Yeah. And I talk a lot about that. Like, nutrition is one small element, but we have to dig deeper into that. We have to dig into, why do you want to do what you're doing? What process is going to work for you? It has to be individualized. You can't, go look at someone else's diet and exercise plan. Like, I used to do that. I used to look at other people's diet and exercise plans and be like, okay, they go to the gym like 2 hours a day or like 4 hours a day or whatever it is. They're eating like 10 meals a day. I'm like, dude, I have like a 9 to 5. I've got like a side hustle. I've got like other commitments. I don't have time to go to the gym 2 hours a day and be eating 10 meals a day. I had to find that something that worked for me in my life.
Absolutely love that. And I think that's the case. I think a lot of people do get lost. And the first thing you do is Google such and such. But like, we've all done it. We've all done it. I've followed so many like bodybuilding diets and all this where you have to eat. And it's just like, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
You strip it all back and you just look at, well, what do you, I remember looking at bodybuilding diets, and in my head, I was like, well, I have competed personally, but at that time, I'm like, well, am I planning to compete in the next foreseeable future? No. Then why am I following this plan? It makes absolutely no sense to be so restrictive and live like that. A bodybuilder diet isn't always sustainable. So I had to like strip it back and go, where am I right now? Where's my life at? And this is what I do with all my clients. Like, where is your life at? Like, what is reasonable for you to be able to be successful right now? And that can look like anything.
I love that. Absolutely brilliant. I feel like we could talk about this all day long. So what can people expect from coming on your sort of nutrition plan? What people got to look forward to on there?
So the way that the diet plan works, which is it's called Call Bullshit on Your Diet Plan, which is actually breaking down all the terrible advice that's in the nutrition industry and actually sort of correcting some of the facts. So you can expect shopping lists, not shopping lists, well, yeah, shopping lists. You can expect what meals you should be eating in a really simple way. So understanding how to construct a meal, how to construct a diet that works for you. You can also expect daily emails from me to make sure that you're getting all the information that you need. There's a huge mindset piece when it comes to this diet plan. I really wanted to like get that across. It's all about mindset, and this mindset isn't just solely for diet. This is, you can use these mindset exercises and these goal setting exercises to actually help you with anything you want to do. So it's all about changing that mindset, getting you to feel better in yourself, not just through diet, but also through how you're perceiving yourself as well. You also have access to me for the whole 30 days where you can message me if you need to. There's a membership side where every week I'm going to be putting up, every day I'm going to be, making sure everyone's being held accountable, asking what you want to be doing, telling you what I'm doing. So you even know, like, I'm going to share how I'm structuring my days. So I'm, giving examples of how I'm doing stuff, as well as doing weekly one-on-ones, not one-on-ones, but weekly Q&As. So you can come along every week, ask me questions, just have a chat, and I'll talk to people that are like-minded as well. So if you're struggling with the diet plan, you can always reach out to me. That's how that works as well. And then every once a month, I'm also going to do a webinar as well on something specific. So whether that's gut health and mindset, or how to build a better diet, or what are some of the facts that are coming out about the nutrition industry, or maybe a mindset workshop as well, where you can come in, very interactive, and you can better understand mindset and things like that. So you have a lot of access to me, and you have a lot of information as well that's coming through to you. And it's not just about, hey, do this diet plan for 30 days. It's about, hey, here's the foundation to structure your diet, your exercise, your sleep, your mindset on, and let's push forward from that and build upon that.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And that the bottom line is that you feel great. We've been on it a week and a half now, and you genuinely do feel better. You genuinely do sleep better. You feel like I'm waking up, I'm sleeping deeper, but I feel like I'm waking up more refreshed. I feel like I'm ready to go again. And then when the weight loss starts coming in, it's like a little Brucey bonus, if you like. It's the more, for me, it's the feeling on fire. It's making sure you haven't got that sort of mental fog and you just
the brain fog. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things that I talk a lot about, which is trying to get, give that brain fog done, that energy back up, because that's more important than how you look at the end of the day.
Yeah, 100%. So just a little bit on the sort of negative side of things, what would you see like the biggest like messy things are in the nutrition industry? What's the areas that go, oh, stay away from that? Or what little bit of a tip could you give to people that think, oh, my mate's doing this down the road, but I don't know if it's the right thing. What have you seen, or what would you definitely say stay away from?
Oh god, there's so many. I would stay away from diets that make you weigh yourself weekly. I don't agree with them. Diets that are extremely calorie restrictive, or meal replacement diets, I do not agree with those. Anything that's too complicated, if it doesn't make sense and it's not realistic or sustainable, don't do it. So one of the things that when you're doing a diet, the one question you have to ask yourself is, am I just doing this for a specific amount of time, or is it something that I can do for the moving forward? Because yeah, it's great to do a 30-day shred or whatever it is, but does that mean that, like, can you sustain that type of exercise, that diet moving forward? So is it sustainable? So that would be something that always ask yourself that question. If it makes you weigh in every week, if it makes you be super focused on what you're looking like rather than how you're feeling, stay away from it. Like anything that's just not about making you feel better, just throw that to the side. You don't be needing to do that. So that would be my biggest tip.
I love that. Brilliant. So yeah, anything else you want to touch on?
Anything else I want to touch on? I think the biggest thing that I really want people to understand is it's all about getting that accountability piece in there, reaching out to people, like reaching out to myself and to the other people that are in the membership, going like, if you're struggling, because you don't need to struggle alone. Changing any type of habit is challenging. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. Being able to have a chat with somebody about, like, you know what, I'm having a really shitty day and I'm feeling pretty down about myself. open up about that. That's what, that's what I'm here for. That's what the membership's here for, because we need to be able to, support each other and be able to work together on changing things, because, hey, this isn't just an overnight fix. This is a lot of bad habits can get created throughout a lifetime. So we've got to work with it, reach out for help.
100%. It definitely goes deeper, doesn't it? It definitely goes deeper. I mean, I've battled with weight all my life, even though I'm a personal trainer, and I know that I've got damage right down there that I need to deal with. So at the minute, I'm dealing with it because I feel great, and like I say, I've shifted my mindset from I want to look like that to I want to eat the right food that's going to power me through the day and make me feel absolutely on fire all day. So that's the shift, and then the byproduct of that is, you lose a bit of weight. So yeah, and your skin clears up.
I think the biggest thing is just understanding, like, shifting it back to how do you want to feel rather than how do you want to look, because you're actually going to get there quicker and in a more sustainable, not quicker, but in a more sustainable way. That isn't, I've dropped 10 pounds this month, whoop-de-doo, high five me, and then go put 15 pounds on next month, which is what happens with a lot of these yo-yo diets that don't make sense. I've seen diets that are like, eat 1,000 calories a day. That's not sustainable for a long term. Like, yeah, you're going to lose some weight for sure, but how are you feeling? You're probably going to feel pretty crappy. You're going to have no energy. You're going to reduce that concentration element, and it might not happen. Here's the thing, it might not happen overnight. You might feel really good for a week or two, but after that 2 weeks, how are you actually feeling? Like, what's actually going on there? And I think that it's all about how do you want to feel. And I think getting deep into that mindset piece and having somebody to reach out to going, I'm having a bad day, I'm having a bad moment, like this has happened, like just letting it out. At least you're actually talking about the emotion that you're having. You're letting it out rather than bottling it up, trying to ignore those feelings, because that's what's going to sabotage you moving forward, whether it's with your diet, whether it's with your exercise, whether it's even with relationships or jobs or anything like that. Having that ability to sort of just be open. And I think that that's something that's really important, especially when we look at nutrition. A lot of people stress eat or don't eat when they're stressed. And mental health is a massive thing, right? Like mindset and mental health are a massive thing that can derail us if we've got poor mental health. So I'm really trying to come in sort of bridging that gap between the physical health and the mindset and the mental health aspect, and actually building a really good community that can actually work on both at the same time, because you can't work on one without the other one, in my opinion.
Completely agree. Any supplements? Any supplements you suggest on the diet, or what's your thoughts on supplements?
So supplements are something that I have a somewhat of a love-hate relationship with. So I'm okay with certain supplements. So for instance, I'm a massive fan of omega-3s, massive fan of vitamin D. So they're the two where I'm like, you know what, everyone could do with a bit of omega-3 and vitamin D supplementations. I'm not the biggest fan of multivitamins. The only time I think you should be taking multivitamins is if you really are struggling to get the resources to find good fresh fruits and vegetables. But diet always first. It can just be really challenging to get vitamin D and the right amount of omega-3 from diet. So that's why I say supplement with them. If we look solely at the sports side, there's a lot of terrible supplements that I wouldn't recommend. But there are some that aren't too bad. So, I go through that through the diet plan as well. But if you take away from today and you just want to go grab yourself some supplements, omega-3 and vitamin D.
Brilliant. Katie, absolute legend. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. I'm excited to help some people in the love fitness world.
Brilliant.